welcome to this edition of Business Supes, where we talk to successful business owners and learn a little bit about them, their business, and their business superpower. So today I am joined by Lukas Sundahl from Sunderful Consulting. Lukas, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Yes, glad to be here.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and just kind of give us an idea of what your origin story is.
Yes, so with Sunderful Consulting, it is basically it's bookkeeping and beyond. We can do bookkeeping services for clients, as well as help them with forecasts, budgets, and strategic planning. In terms of my background, I've been in accounting for the last 12 years. Prior to that, I was a personal trainer, but then made the shift into accounting. And as I made the shift, I was considering the CPA and the CMA route, and ultimately I chose the CMA. And what that stands for is a certified management accountant. So it involves a lot of the things that CPAs do, but doesn't focus on the audit and tax pieces. So what that allows me to do is, obviously you can do the bookkeeping components, but then in more of a managerial focus with our clients and think of things in terms of budgets, forecasts, planning for the future, cash flow forecasting. So we can do obviously the standard income statement, balance sheet, but think of things like long-term planning. Where does the company see itself in 2 years and beyond? And what types of cash flow will we need if there's going to be any major capital expenditures, that type of thing. So
Okay, awesome.
Through my role in different accounting positions in the last few years, in some Fortune 1000 companies to small businesses, I've got a good overview of ways to go about planning and forecasting to help business owners.
That's fantastic because, I talk to a lot of business owners and it's amazing to me how many of them don't know if they're making money or not. They're not paying attention to their finances. If they are, they just get their P&L and they glance at it. They're not looking at it month over month, year over year. And there's many of them certainly are not looking at it, kind of in a forward thinking manner. So, we like to say that, budgeting is for profit. And then obviously the measuring is to see if you're on target or not. So I love that you're able to help people with that. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you see with business owners when they come and start working with you as far as the finance goes?
So the biggest things is just them not really knowing where they have been and where they want to go. Sometimes they're just basically drinking from a fire hydrant, if you will, in some situations, but basically just trying to help them understand, like get them on board, like a picture of like what the last 6 months, 12 months trend has been, and just trying to help them address and get them up to speed on where they've been and where they're going to be in the future. And then mainly to address some initial cash flow needs. If there's anything else that's coming up on the horizon, they typically have not done a lot of planning or budgeting, or if they did budgeting at all, it's just a high level, I think this is what we're going to spend. So just trying to help them truly analyze their expenses and see if there's ways to, right from the get-go, cut some costs and just be more prudent with their money.
Yep. And that's a great point, the cutting costs. I talk to people all the time, and it's amazing how many business owners, they'll tell you how much revenue their business makes, and they think that that's the important number, but it's not the amount that you bring in, it's the amount that you keep that really, really matters. So how often do you find yourself inheriting somebody who's been doing QuickBooks on their own? And if that does happen, what are some of the major mistakes that people doing their own bookkeeping tend to fall into, some of those traps?
So some of the things that they fall into are just classifying transactions like in an incorrect manner. So basically, they may just lump everything into office supplies or some supply expense account, which is great. But if you have a lot of things flowing through your business, you want to truly like break out what's office supplies, what's other expenditures, what's the nature of the expense, that type of thing. And sometimes they may have large purchases that they just run through an expense account, but they could actually capitalize those assets. So that helps from a P&L standpoint. And it's also like, so we get them in line with GAAP, but then it helps them from a P&L perspective, because once those things are capitalized, it makes it just where you're expensing month over month as you use the asset. So that type of thing. And another thing is a lot of times they have a very basic chart of accounts, And so we help kind of coordinate numbering them, like assets, liabilities, equity, and give them a better overview of how to flow things through, get a true cost of goods sold, get gross profit numbers, and then other expenses.
Okay, very good. Yes, I tried to do my books for a little while, and I thought, you know what, this is not something I enjoy doing. It's something that I always seem to put off, and I realized it's just worth paying somebody else to do it, so it gets done and it gets done right. I'm constantly amazed by the stories I hear of business owners who did their own books, and then got them so messed up that it took, months and months and months and significantly more money to get everything straightened out than it would have taken if they had just gone ahead and hired somebody from the beginning.
Yeah, we see that a lot too. The clients are such a mess that just like you said, they pay all these extra fees to get the books in good shape and up to speed. If they just come to us at the beginning, we'll get them everything ready up until they're ready to hand off for the tax component. And so, yeah, it's amazing the time and effort that they think they're going to save by doing it themselves, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, very, very, very true. And I always joke around that I'm scared of the tax man. I want to make sure that everything is done right. So having a second set of eyes on there is always a good thing. So let me ask you this, because it's been said that a business is really only as can only grow to the level of ability of its owner. So what are some of the things that you do to, for lack of a better term, sharpen the saw to help yourself grow and push yourself?
Yeah, so I'm always I have a big proponent of continuing education. I take as a CMA, there's like an hour requirement every year to keep that certification active. But I go above and beyond that. I go to networking events, CPE seminars, whether it's online or actually in person. And it allows me to not only learn new material, but also to network with other accountants and other business leaders and experience and talk with like what they're going through, what they see on the horizon, and just kind of compare notes and that type of thing. You'd be amazed at the number of business owners that are willing to help other people if they just ask. So while even like in the bookkeeping space, there's a lot of competition, but we're competing, but we're not, because there's so many people that need help. So it's just basically finding people to network with. And you'd be amazed at people that are just starting out, people that have been in the industry for a while are definitely willing to help others get the ball rolling.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great point, because so many people come at life with a fixed mindset. And then there are folks out there who have that abundance mindset where if I can, the kind of the raising tide raises all buoys. So I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So this is the question that kind of prompted this interview series, since we're calling it Business Supes. What is your business superpower?
My business superpower is just basically being able to talk with business owners and just put myself in their shoes. I've worked in like with my own operation and other companies, being able to put myself in the shoes of business owners and try and see things from their perspective. So I develop a good rapport, not only from my accounting background, but even when I was a personal trainer, I worked with so many different clients and they were like business owners, different industries, but just truly getting a feel for what it's like in their perspective. And so I really empathize with business owners, no matter what industry they're in, and just trying to get a feel for how they may see things and that type of thing. So that's my business superpower.
Very nice. Yeah. So empathy. I love it. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've talked about this on this interview series a couple of times with folks about people buy from those they know, like, and trust. So
Yes.
being able to put yourself in their shoes is obviously a great superpower. So thank you for sharing that with us. I guess my last question here would be what little nugget of advice do you have for other business owners?
My nugget of advice would be to give back. So even if you're just starting out, there's ways to help other people. So if you're new to industry or if you've been in that 15, 20, 25 years, just give back at some point. It could be like going to a local networking event, doing a talk, giving some advice. One thing I like to do is I'm active on LinkedIn. So I try and share information on there that could be helpful to somebody. So it doesn't matter your industry. Just be willing to help others And that'll help, not only help them, but it'll help you in the process.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's fantastic advice. And thanks for hopping on with us today and sharing your business superpower with us. We certainly appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you very much.